apologies for that, saints. Am I now audible? I actually did ask that you assist me in ensuring that I'm actually audible, because like I said that I'm actually alone at home and I don't have the devices that I normally use when I go live. So I'm using another device that I'm not so much familiar with. But if I am now audible, please do assist by indicating that I am audible. Thank you so much, Kumishu Medwa. We used to call him Daddy back in primary. I think am I audible now, Kumishu? Am I audible? Am I audible? I believe I'm audible because I'm actually not so much familiar with this device that I'm using, and I'm only having one device, and I'm at home. I'm home alone. I think I'm audible. Yeah, I believe I'm audible now. Okay. Yes, you are. Thank you so much, man. That is great. Big ups to Kumishu Medwa. We used to call him Daddy. I'm not sure if he's still 100% comfortable with that name. You know, as people grow, they leave other names somewhere in the past. But however, he's a very dear friend of mine. We did primary together. We did high school together. I think up until grade 10. I moved to another school. He moved to another school, where we ultimately did our matric separately. But however, he's been my friend since the 90s. Since the 90s. So I think 1999-ish, 1998, 1999, somewhere there. But nevertheless, thank you so much, man, for that. You are your brother's keeper. There's, you know, who's this guy? Cain says to God, when God requires about Abel, he says, am I my brother's keeper? So it's actually quite nice to know that we still have brother's keepers in these days. So like I said, saints, today, the aim of today is to just speak some words of wisdom and just help us to think from above. Thinking above. That's what I actually labeled, or the theme is thinking above. And I will start with the book of John chapter 5 verses 18. It is one of my personal favorite books, because it has actually shaped and reshaped and the way that I think. So it has renewed my mind to a certain level. So I'd like us to start with that. As we are in a season of celebration, we are in a season where I think most families today are together. Most families in South Africa, in the world, I think most families today are together. People that are working in Cape Town, people that are working in Joburg, people that are working in Bopo, everybody goes back to their respective hometowns where they are with family, and you know, it's just a big ball and everybody's having fun. And people are socializing and whatnot. So the world has actually given this day that status of this day being actually a family day. So that is why I actually saw the need to actually go online, because if it's a family day, my family is not only limited to the people that which bear the same surname as me, but my family goes beyond that. My family is far greater than that in the most in all the senses that which actually one can try, you know, to bring that home. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to be very long because my battery is already giving me an indication that I'm 10%, so I'm going to be very short. John chapter 5 verses 18. I'm going to read the 18th verse. Okay, so just a small background on that on that scripture. John chapter 5 opens with Jesus Christ healing a certain man that was at the pool of Bethesda. I think that's how you, yeah, Bethesda. And this man was there for, I think, 38 years, and there was a pool there, and an angel would actually come and stir the waters, seasonally. And when the angel stirs the waters, then what would then happen is that people that which were sick, would actually run and jump into the pool immediately after the angel has actually stirred the waters. And whoever would actually go into the waters first would actually, basically get healed. And now the scene is that now Jesus is, within that scenery, and there is a certain man that is just lame. He couldn't walk. He was just bedridden or mat ridden. And then this man then lays this complaint. I'm just gonna paraphrase. This man lays a complaint to Jesus that whenever an angel comes and stirs the waters, then he is unable, because he cannot walk, he's unable to actually go there and actually go into the water so that he can actually get sick, get healed from his sickness. Then Jesus says to him, this is the 8th verse, it says, rise up and take your bed and walk. So Jesus says, you know what, just rise up, take your bed and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, he was made well, and he took up his bed and he walked right. So that is the 8th verse. I was just giving some form of a background as to how this verse, which is 18, which is our main verse, is actually coming about. However, one thing to also remember is that all this thing happened on the Sabbath. It happened on the Sabbath. A Sabbath was a day of rest. It was a day where the Hebrews or the Israelites would actually, I think that's more proper for me to say the Israelites, they would actually rest and not do any work on that specific day. Because the Bible records that God created the heavens and earth, or restored, restoration, whichever school of thought you ascribe to, it really doesn't matter. Whether he was restoring or he was creating, it doesn't matter. But however, it happened within a period of 6 days, and on the 7th day God rested, and God then gave the Sabbath that special thing, that it is a day of rest. And therefore the Israelites would work but not actually do any work on the Sabbath. It was actually breaking the law of Moses to actually work on the Sabbath. So all this happened on the Sabbath. So basically Jesus Christ caused for a person to get healed on the Sabbath. So as he actually had caused a person to get healed on the Sabbath, there were some that which were not happy about that. The Pharisees were not happy about the fact that Jesus Christ actually healed a person on the Sabbath, because it meant that he was well, if it was in today's terms, we would say he was a constitutional delinquency, a delinquent. That is to say, he was not, obeying the rules and the regulations that which were stipulated. So, to cut the long story short, 16. Let's start with 16. Okay, 15. Let's start with 15. So 15 says, the man departed and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. And then 16 says, for this reason, the Jews persecuted Jesus and sought to kill him. Number one. So the Jews persecuted Jesus. They sought to kill him because Jesus Christ had actually healed a man on the Sabbath. So he had broken the law of Moses, because he had done all these things on the Sabbath, yes. But Jesus answered them, my Father has been working until now, and I have been working. So now this is that critical statement that Jesus Christ actually made, that actually turned the tables upside down altogether. He says, my Father. has been working until now, and I have been working. Okay. Now 18, therefore the Jews sought all the more to kill him, because he not only broke the Sabbath. So they sought the more to kill him, not only because he broke the Sabbath, but there was another reason, and here is the reason. But also said that God was his father, making himself equal with God. 19, then Jesus answered them and said to them, most assuredly I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do, so whatever he does, the Son also does in like manner. For the Father loveth the Son, and showeth him all things that he has done, that he does, and he will show him greater works than these, that ye may marvel. Okay, so what I wanted to actually speak about there is the fact that Jesus Christ heals a man on the Sabbath. That is him breaking the law. So after he breaks the law, they sought to kill him. But then now, when they actually approached him, he then said something that was very odd and very strange and blasphemous in those days. He said that I work because I see my Father working. And him seeing his Father working, he was actually referring to God. And then the people sought the more to kill him, not only because he had actually I'll have to charge. I must